Okay, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It's the first Friday of the month of August, so we have our launch partners call here today to kickstart the month. A couple of announcements that I think are worth addressing today for our call. First of all, I want to give Mike's apologies. I'm filling in hosting the call. He normally kind of leads out with the call. I know we kind of do it together, but he often leads out. He's at the hospital with his father, so please continue to keep him and his family in your prayers. His dad's not looking too well at all. It was very, very good of Mike to be able to be in Orlando under the circumstances. So just a couple of thoughts on his regard as well. Please keep a note in your diary. On the 18th of the month is when we have our Power A call. So please make sure that that is in your schedule or your diary, the 18th of the month. So again, the critical thing, what makes these work so well is when people, launch partners, are having their own launch events. So let's make sure that we've got meetings that we're planning. Again, I'll remind each of us of the rhythm that we work to. We know we have the daily activities where we're adding names to our list, where we're reaching out and we're contacting people. We're doing the presentations and what have you. We have our weekly team meetings or our weekly events, and we have a monthly meeting. The benefit of the Power A meeting is that you get some very experienced A's that can participate in your monthly event. And for many, if they're wanting to start from scratch, or if they feel like they're needing to start from scratch, and those meetings are just taking place, even if it's in their own living room, that makes everyone feel a sense of connectedness and togetherness that can make the smallness of a living room feel like something quite significantly larger and more connected, and yet have the intimacy of that home environment. So a wonderful way to build a business. But of course, if we just jump on these calls by ourselves, we're losing sight of what it's all about. So like I said, please, let's get some meetings booked into the diary. Let's work towards getting your event set up. Alongside of that, of course, we want to make sure that you're getting your flyers made. Any recommendations that you've got for Power A's that you'd like to participate and lead out? We've had some fantastic ones over these past few months, which just, as always, just makes me feel so proud to be associated when we have such wonderful team members participating in, and being a part of these calls and leading out. So to those that have done it in the recent past, the feedback that we have coming back is just wonderful. Thank you for what you're doing and participating that way. And so again, any recommendations, please continue to share them through. Let me see, Madeline, you've just shared a note. Our HBM will break for lunch on the 18th at 11:30 for the Power A connection. Jeff, okay, so there is going to be an HBM in Madeline's area on the 18th, but they are going to include or incorporate the Power A call, which is kind of cool. So thank you very much, Madeline, for adding that note there as well. Okay, a couple of other points. We've just come back from Orlando, of course. And thank you to everyone that attended and participated. Really thrilled with the feedback that we've been able to enjoy coming back from that. Of course, we all know the statement that I'm about to share has been shared many years over, and it's true everywhere in this industry, in this business, that we grow our business from what? Event to event. Yeah, we have these monthly calls like the Power A events, the Power A meetings, but we also have these bigger events that we bring people to. What I loved in Orlando, and I mentioned this on Tuesday, was when I asked for a show of hands how many people were new at the event. This was a first occurrence for them, a first participation experience, or they had been in the business for a very short period of time. And we had people that had been in for less than a month and people that were not yet in, that were prospects that were coming along. I would say it was almost about 20% of the audience raised their hand, which was incredible. Really, really good. So if we could have the same again, please, but let's make it more. for Toronto, that would be great. I don't know of anyone that was there that didn't have a good experience, that would come away going, I wish I didn't go to that. And I don't think you're going to get that experience far from in going to Toronto, where you come away going, you know what, I wish I didn't do that. How often have you ever heard that? You just don't. And so if you've got prospects, if you've got new business partners, if you want to get them really anchored in the business, then you need to make sure that coming to Toronto becomes an important part of their experience. It takes planning, it takes commitment, and it takes preparation. So it's very, very difficult to vacillate on a commitment like that and then go, I'm in. Because, as you know, coming to Toronto, coming to Orlando, going to Salt Lake, going to San Antonio, all of these events require a financial commitment. It requires a time commitment. So we can't vacillate. We can't sit on the fence and wonder what I should do. We either do it or we don't. And that's the critical thing. And if we don't make a decision, then we've made one. Right there, haven't we? So what I would encourage everyone to do is please make a decision to come, but do not come alone. If you want to get payback, if you want it to be financially more worthwhile, there are ways to do that. You can do it through sharing rooms, for example. You can do it by bringing some food with you so you're not eating out every night, for example. You can find cheaper ways of getting there if you need to. There are a host of different ways, but you can also bring business partners. You can also bring prospects. You can also bring guests and have them invest in the business as a result of what they experience, and have that money come back into your pocket by way of the future outcomes that occur with those that you bring with you. If you come alone, then you come back motivated, and you've got to try and seed your team, which is not the same experience as if they come back and they do that for you. Because the reality is, you'll come back, and it may be because you're a launch partner, because you're a seasoned pro in this business, that what you say may come across with a tinge of bias, because of course you're going to say it's great. Yeah. But if your prospect comes back, if your teammate comes in and they go, oh my goodness, this was fantastic, it comes back with a whole different level of authenticity, I think, that just helps to share the motivation and the enthusiasm so much more. So let's make sure, as we plan our Power A events, that we're bringing prospects to these. As we plan for further down the road for the bigger events, that we're bringing our prospects as well. I would add one final note on Toronto. I think I've stressed this point enough already. But one final point on Toronto is Richard Bliss Brooke is going to be there, and he is going to be having a workshop on the Sunday afternoon, which a link to that workshop will be made available on the Launch Partner chat very soon. So please look out for that, because that's a workshop that I know a lot of people are interested in. He is, if you're not aware, the author of the 4-Year Career. That has become more and more famous as time ticks on, and has become a stronger and stronger business tool for many people in the industry. So great to have him with us at the event. Great not just to have him speaking on stage, but to be doing a workshop for us as well. Again, what better place to put prospects in front of great people than an environment like this? So something to be mindful of as well. Again, one final point of consideration as I kind of conclude the notes of announcements and things is Bernadette McBurney put together a fantastic tool, a business planning tool, not that long ago. If you were in Orlando, you'd have seen a copy of it that was made available thanks to Mike. Got some printed ones available. They're on the website for the tools as well. So if you want to go there and download or get a copy of yours printed and delivered, I do strongly encourage you to get that done, because it is turning out to be a fundamental foundational tool for building your business. So again, a huge thank you to Bernadette for all the work that you put into creating that, getting that done. And like I said, it's turning out to be a fundamental tool for people everywhere in making sure that they build their business well. So if you want to get a business plan put together, let's get everyone on the same page, using the same tools, singing from the same hymn sheet, so to speak, because that will be really, really critical. Now, I want to share a critical point. This is, I guess, having gone through all of those different items of business, I want to get to a critical point of conversation I had with Jeff Isom a couple of days ago. It was either during Orlando or shortly thereafter. We were chatting, and we were talking about the launch packs and, of course, the absence now of the queue in our business, meaning all volume counts for qualification. There are no loopholes that people need to try to find, no ways to kind of get around this or kind of skirt around that, and no fluffing up this, that, and the other in order to get someone signed in. It's nice and easy, straightforward. The shackles have been lifted, is what we were kind of talking about. And of course, the reintroduction of packs, which gives a very clear way of helping people know how to get started strong, how to get to executive straight away, how to get to silver straight away. Combine this with things like the business plan that I was talking about. Combine this with business tools that we've been talking about, with the Power A events and the weekly calls and that type of thing. You've got a fantastic structure in order to build a profitable business. So that, I think, is something wonderful. Now, Jeff was saying, what kind of an outcome do you think we'll get from this, Ben? I'm expecting an explosion, a rebirth of Nikken in North America coming from this. And I said, well, I'm going to be really candid, and I'm going to be really candid with everyone on the call today. I said, the rebirth based on the strategy is possible. We have in place fantastic products. They've been bundled into wonderful, clear, and concise packs. We can link them to the comp plan. The comp plan has been simplified. We've got a great story and a compelling mission. We've got all of these things in place. Is everything perfect? No. In my experience, having worked with multi-billion-dollar companies, has there ever been anything perfect? Never. Right? So we don't need perfect territory or perfect weather in order to putt the perfect shot. Right? That doesn't work that way. Nowhere does it work that way. So we have a wonderful amount of things in place here to make things go well. However, I said there is one thing that will prevent the explosion from happening, and that is this. I said, you can announce this on Facebook, you can send it out in a newsletter, and you can get the word out on the internet. But if we in the field are not hosting our own meetings, where we are getting guests along, prospects to these meetings, where we're introducing them to the business, introducing them to packs, introducing them into the strategies of how to get started, and launching people into the business, then the explosion will not happen. That's what it comes down to. So I want to ask you, I need to double check, it's the 3rd of the month, okay? It's the 3rd of the month. We don't need to wait until the 18th to hold our first meeting. But I would ask you this. What plans do you have in place at the moment to get in front of prospects, to get teams together, to get meetings in place so that we can promote all the good things that are available in the business? If we want momentum to happen, it starts at local meeting levels. Yeah? The big events are great, but if we aren't having the local meeting activities, then we're not going to have the same experience. Sherry Danzig did something wonderfully visual in Orlando over the weekend. And for those of you that weren't there, I'm going to paint the picture for you of what she did. She got up and she said, I want you to imagine, she had a couple come up. And she said to the guy, Dave, she said, I want you to go up on stage. And she had them role play for a minute. She said, I want you to get started in your business. Are you with me? You ready to get started in the business? She wanted them to both play the role of new distributors. And he said, yes, yeah, I'm with you. She said, okay, I want you to come back to me and bring with me one new person in your business. And he goes, oh, hang on. I can't right now. I need to build my website. Right? She said, okay. Well, you kind of crack on with that. And then she turned to his wife, who was representing another new person in the business. I want you to go out there and I want you to find one new person to bring with you into the business. Someone that's like you, someone that's excited about creating change, someone that wants to make a difference in people's lives. I want you to find someone that is passionate about really moving forward with purpose. Okay, just look for someone like that, bring them to me, and let's have an introduction. So off they went. And she went out amongst the audience and she came back with someone. And she said, this is great. They made an introduction. And then she went back to the guy that was on the stage. She says, are you ready to come forward now and find someone? You know, find someone like yourself that's interested. He goes, oh, hang on, I can't right now. I need to get my business cards made. Okay, well, kind of you crack on and get your business cards sorted. She said to his wife, the other distributor, she says, okay, I want you and your new partner to go out there. I want you to find a new person, again, that someone like yourself, someone that's engaging, that's exciting, that's optimistic, that sees the glass half full, someone that wants to make something of their lives. Go bring them back. Let's make an introduction. Bring them back to me. And off they went. They came back with more people. Okay, let's do this process again. Let's keep this going. And before you knew it, she had 20, 30 people at the front of the room, while this guy stood on stage, Billy No Mates, standing there by himself watching what was happening. And it struck a powerful chord with me, because this is what happened. The result of the people at the front of the stage doing what they were doing was it created visible, tangible excitement. People in the room were getting up out of their chairs, of course. They're moving around, they're mulling about, they're talking to others. They get up to the front and they're excited to be at the front of the room, and they're chit-chatting, and there's this energy that was created as a result of the activity. The guy, Dave, that was on the stage could not create that energy simply by talking about it. Couldn't be done. He was just stood by as an onlooker. And it was just a fascinating example that she created, that if we want to get energy in our business, it comes from getting out there, bringing new people in. We've got some great announcements that were made in Orlando. If we want to make a difference in our business, we do not wait to make things perfect. We go out there and we create change. We go out there and we bring new people in. And like I said, and if it starts with one new person, then we get that person to duplicate, and we find someone like them, we bring them back, we have the conversations, we do the ABCs, we tag them in to the weekly webinars, we connect them to the monthly Power A call, we get them coming along in groups now to the regional meetings or to the national events. All of these types of things start to happen. We've got the rhythm in place. We've got the schedules in place. We've got incredible people in our business. I made a point in Orlando. We had just one person from the UK join us, Marion Timms. I was so thrilled. Every time I saw her, she doesn't know this, and I don't think she's on the call, but every session that took place in Orlando, I was watching out for her. And I was watching because I was mindful of the big sacrifice that she'd made to get to Orlando, coming all the way from the UK as a silver. And I was watching for a smile on her face, for the pen going to the paper. I wanted to make sure that she was meeting people. And so I went up to her on the first night and I said, Marion, is there anyone here that you would love to meet that you haven't met yet? Any names of well-known Nikken distributors that you would really like to get acquainted with? I said, whoever there is, I want to make sure that I introduce you. And so I made some introductions. I had the chance to introduce her to Kurt. And she saw Dave Johnson. Oh my goodness, Dave Johnson's over there. You know, he's the granddaddy of Nikken. She's meeting him for the first time. I've only ever heard him or seen him on webinars. I'd love to get to meet him. Come on over. It's happening. Let me introduce you to Mike. She was, oh my gosh, I get to meet Mike in the flesh. It's a big deal for these people that are new in Nikken. Yeah. And it was just exciting to see that energy. And she just came away on cloud nine. But I could do that with confidence because I knew everyone that I introduced her to, I knew categorically, 100%, everyone that I introduced her to would give nothing but a warm reception and a warm embrace. Whether they were upline, downline, crossline, whatever it was, they would be turning around saying, Well, welcome to Nika. Welcome to the event. We're glad you're here. Let me introduce you. Come sit with us if you want to do lunch together. She had lunch with Ruth Lowe. Ruth gave her a one-on-one and took her to her auntie's house, and they had lunch together. She's over the moon. She's just blown away by the generosity that she had with so many people, giving her such a wonderful experience. This is what you get when you bring people to Nika events. Isn't that wonderful? So guys, what we need to do, if we want to have an explosion, like I said, Jeff's saying to me, I think we've got something here that could really take off. Do you think it will? Well, how many meetings are being scheduled by the field in the month of August? There's your key indicator. If you want to know if it's going to be an explosion in your group this month, how many meetings are taking place this month? What's happening? If you want to make sure that it's going to be an explosion, well, let's get some meetings planned. And it can start with one and build out from there. If there are no meetings, I'm going to go to the extreme. If there are no meetings scheduled, set one up, make it happen, bring it in. And then let's make the Power A call your second one. Do something about it, take action, and double your numbers, because they're pretty good numbers, aren't they, when you can double them? Yeah, so you start with one, and then you're doubling it by the end of the month with the Power A call. And then move from there into September. Do it again. Let's get some bigger meetings going on. Let's make sure more people are coming and putting to use all the good things that are happening in NECANN. The simple way of getting started, the getting packs, the going out there, doing 500 points, building your business with the packs, getting to silver as soon as possible, getting them to the meetings, plugging them into the webinars, getting them to the big events, connecting them with all of the lovely people in NECANN that will help them and assist them every step of the way. We've got so much to work on. I want to share a final thought. When I was, well, let me backtrack. There are a number of different things that NECANN could do better. Yeah, let's call a spade a spade. There are a number of things that NECANN could do better. That's the nature of business. Otherwise, everything would be flat. Even Apple, who just for the first time in the history of business reached that lofty height of being the first company on the planet to be valued at over $1 trillion. Isn't that incredible? Are they perfect? Are there things that they're working on? You better believe there is. Absolutely. So wherever you're at, but let's scale it down to NECANN. Are there things that we can do better? Yes. Some things are subtle, some things are glaringly obvious. Let me jump back to when I was general manager of Amway. Amway is the granddaddy of the industry. It's the biggest company in network marketing on the planet. When I worked there, they had an abundance of resources and are an incredibly wealthy, privately owned company. Incredibly wealthy. And you know what? I would get complaints from the field all the time that the website's garbage, that it's too slow, that it doesn't have this functionality or that functionality, that it just sucks, that we're hindered and handicapped because of our name. Because as soon as we mention the name Amway, everyone wants to run away. They go, oh, you mean that pyramid type business like Amway? Oh, eek, it is Amway. So they even tried to call it something else in the States for a while. They went by the name of Quickstar and thought maybe if we call ourselves a different name, maybe we can fix our reputation. Well, a rose by any other name, in the words of Shakespeare, would smell as sweet, or not. Yeah, it is what it is. They were concerned about that. I remember sitting down with them when I first got started with the leaders. They said, Ben, if we just had this one tool, then everything in the business would change. Ben, we used to have this great marketing piece about 10 years ago, and for whatever reason, the company threw it away. If you were to bring that back, that would change everything. Another leader says, no, that didn't change the business. What really changed the business was this tool. If we just had that, that would get it fixed. Someone else piped in, no, Ben, what we really need is this type of strategy. If this strategy was in place, then we'd see things really starting to change. Everyone had different opinions. Everyone had something to complain about. Everyone had something to identify that needed fixing. Why do I share that? Because wherever we are, whatever we're doing, something will always need to be fixed. I say it as a positive message, a message of reassurance, a message that, what do I do about that? Crack on and control the things that I can. What can I control? I can't control the updates on the website, for example, or the shipping prices, for example, or the timeliness of products being shipped, or the product catalog, what's in there and what isn't. But I can control if I have a meeting or not. I can control if I talk to new people. I can control if I get prospects to events. I can control the influence that I have on my team. I can control that stuff. So let's focus on the things we can control. Let's jump in there and grab that with two horns and run it at full steam. Because I do believe that if we were to grapple with that and have a ton of meetings take place, we could experience in North America what Latin America has experienced this year. If you want to know what's really had them take off, they've just been, if you look at their activity, it's their activity. Now, they had an advantage when the comp plan changed in January for them. There were a lot of people that were close by way of volume. They had the infrastructure, but they were just a little bit shy on volume. When the comp plan changed, they realized that with a little bit more volume, boom, I could rank advance, I could shoot from diamond to royal. And so they just ran for it, but they had the infrastructure in place. So that was an advantage. But what happened was meetings suddenly were going left, right, and center. Team events were happening, and things took off. Now, it could have stopped there, and by March, it could have fizzled out, but it hasn't. They've kept it going. What does that mean? They keep on doing the meetings. We will survive, thrive, and prosper in our businesses if we run our business, like I said at the beginning, from event to event or from meeting to meeting. So let's recognize that pattern. Let's understand what Mike has taught for over 20 years in network marketing in Nikken, that rhythm of the business is something that is essential to our prosperity. And it starts with us grabbing this new stuff, critically, that new stuff that has come in from the Orlando announcements, and we feed it through our teams, because what was announced there and was enthusiastically received there doesn't anywhere near reflect the size of the audience of Nikken North America or Nikken Europe. It doesn't reflect it at all. It's our job to get the word out. And we will do that through phone calls, through messages, through WhatsApp, email, text messaging, and through the meetings. As much as we can get people to meetings and get prospects started right. Like I said, the new kits that we've got, the new bundles, the packs, and Bernadette's business plan are two fantastic ways to get people on track, get them started and plugged in real fast. Combine that with ABCs and with upline support, and people will have no reason but to prosper. So let's do that. Let's make it happen. I would love for people to share via the launch partner chat after this call their commitments to hosting meetings in the month of August, either themselves or with their teams, so that we can see amongst each other what is happening, and get maybe encouraged to do a little more ourselves. So please, for those that aren't on the chat, that aren't on the call today, let them know what they're missing by sharing your commitment online on the Launch Partners chat about hosting meetings to get these packs out there, taught, and in the hands of new people as much as possible. That would be wonderful, and that can help us get momentum and growth in our business, and in a timely fashion and with a great deal of enthusiasm. So thank you all very much. Glad to have you with us. Again, remember that date, the 18th, for the Power A call for this month. And let's get plenty of meetings happening between now and then and forever after, so that we can see our businesses go to new heights. Thank you very much, and we'll speak soon. Take care, everyone.